Hey everyone, so starting off a little City Skylines series here today. It's going to be fun to create some cities on this channel. Thank you all firstly for stopping by, and if you feel like subscribing, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Only if you want to, of course. Um, I wanted to create this channel because I love city building games, and this is going to be a lot of fun, I think, to just have fun and hopefully uh, learn a few tips along the way about City Skylines 2. I'm going to be depending on you guys in the comments and anyone who takes the time to like this video to learn more about this game. I have created a number of cities on another map. I've started a brand new map here um, to really just get a feel for how I'm going to play this, how I'm going to move forward with this game. And I've learned so much even from the map that I'd created, but it still feels like I'm just scratching the surface of this vast city builder. I I do have City Skylines 1, but I didn't really play that much of it, so but I was very impressed with the trailers and the graphics for City Skylines 2, and I'm looking forward to playing more of this game. Um, Now I have this obviously on Steam PC. I was disappointed on the delay for the console version. I don't know if I'm going to get the console version or not yet. I'm still deciding that. But I'm going to start on a brand new map. It is the Mountain Village map, and I love the look of these mountains with the snow peak. I really love the look of that, to be honest, and I want to try and that's the first question I've got to ask in the comments. How do I get these beautiful snow peaks, because they look amazing, and I want those on my mountains on my other maps. Although I will also say these mountains are a lot bigger than what I have in my other maps by a lot. They're a lot larger. So I think the first thing creating your town, your city, is I probably well, the very first thing I would recommend a number of mods with this game, and one of the mods I would recommend is the unlocking all tiles. Uh, I think it's very important mods to have, and I just like to know the exact area that I'm working with, if that makes sense. With City Skylines 2, I want to be able to know exactly how much space I've got to work with, how little space I've got to work with, and take it from there. Other mods that I've got enabled, the Move It mod. I haven't used that too much just yet. I think it's enabled while I'm going across here, and it doesn't look like it is. Let me see if I select an object. Maybe I have to have pre-selected it first before I can move it. I'm still certainly trial and error with this game at the moment. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working maybe at the moment, but let's see, underground. Well, I also have, of course, infinite demand, um, and one problem I had with my other cities was population wasn't growing. So we're going to see what happens with this one. So we're starting off with just a basic street. I think it's very important to get your transport networks sorted first thing, and that's what I'm going to do to start things off. That would be my first recommendation with this city builder, and probably the same goes for any city builder. I think it's just you got to lay down what you want to do. So I mean, I'm looking at this land terrain, and I do like it, and I think it's a good it's a really nice map. This, to be honest, I think it might be the nicest in the game. So I'm gonna continue this. What looks to be a highway. Um, Sorry, it's a street. Actually, it's a street. My mistake. The highways. One thing you're gonna notice: the highways. You cannot place buildings either side of the highways, but the traffic can go faster on the highway than the street. The street is limited to, I think, 30. It's 50 actually. This particular street, because of the type of street it is, but maybe that's a little maybe that's something I should be looking at more in my Evercity is taking a look at the street, because some of the streets are very slow in my Evercity in terms of speed limits. So I mean, yeah, I think I'm happy to probably to start with a highway here. So I'm gonna lay down some highway. We're gonna be coming up soon on our first real obstacle here, and it's a railway track. Can we pass it? Yes, we can. So it makes it a bit easier. Laying down railway I find to be quite difficult in this game at times, so again, you don't want the slope to be too much either. Just looking at this map, I think laying down some more highway is probably a good idea right about now, so I'm gonna try and start a highway. Yeah, okay, I think I've got an idea. I'm gonna just go the highway, I'm gonna start it here, and then I'm gonna have it run quite a distance. I'm gonna actually have it run possibly across the river here. Yes, I think across the river. So that's a long, thin highway across the river, and well, technically that might be a stream actually, just looking at it. They've got some really, one thing I love about City Skylines too is they have made a lot of improvements, Colossal Order, with this game, and one of the things I really love are the road improvements. They look really good. The roads in this game look fantastic, I think, and the graphics actually I really think look really good. It does still have some stability issues. It has more than a few issues, but it's graphically I can't really criticize the graphics on this game that much, because I think it's the best of a city builder out there. I was so excited about a year ago when I seen the trailers coming out for the first time for this game. So yeah, I think getting your transport right is so important, and laying down some highways to start is the right thing to do. And I'm looking at this middle island here, and I think one thing also you want to do some landscaping, and we're going to go to landscaping tools now as well. I have used the level tool most of the time, along with the raise and lower tool. One thing I would say straight away is be careful with creating water on your map, because you might end up the game might end up it might end up becoming a water mountain before you know it. So we're going to try and avoid that. It did happen in my other city, the pre-run I suppose you would call it, and it didn't look great, but it certainly was a big blue blob glitch is the best way to put it, before I enclosed it in like a mountain, the water source, and that was because I put water source all over my city. And you can see there with some of the mods that I've activated, I can actually increase the fertile land of this city, and I have done this with my other city as well. So in fact, I'm going to maybe just quickly lay some fertile land right now, if I can. I'd like to maybe just increase the density of the brush, which you can do by pressing X, and then it depends what console you're using, of course, but I'm using, or what controller you're using, but I'm using basically an Xbox controller with PC. So I'm going to increase it to about 1000. Strength, we can go a bit more with the strength as well, say 80%. I want to make fertile land, because what that means is I can create farms and have good resources. I'm not going to go the whole way over all the map, but I'm going to certainly make it a bit more, give myself a bit more options, just to make it a bit easier. And that's what the mods do, they just make life a lot easier. The water source mod is certainly one that you might, groundwater tool, you might want to avoid that one just for the moment. And I'm also going to lay down some oil as well, just so that we might need that resource later as well, so I'm gonna just quite casually just increase what we need to do here. Just yeah, I like that. Okay, so I have plans to pretty much create the city in this sort of in like a square box here, but I'm probably going to need some more roads, and I'm thinking highway is probably the road I'm going to need next again. So I'm going to continue with the highway, and I want it to be a 4-lane highway that will allow traffic in both directions. That's what's something that I haven't quite got right with that first highway. That is a one-way highway, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. But I'm gonna come back to that later. And I have a two-way highway now, just right, pretty much right through the middle, and so we could really kind of get a good idea of the shape of this city. City Superworlds. I hope this is gonna work. Yep, it has. Yep. Sometimes laying down highways and roads, it can be a bit of a tricky one. You're not quite sure what's going to happen with it sometimes. And looks like we've got some train tracks now because of the curve there, and also the power cables that are there by default. That's causing a bit of an issue, but I can get through it somehow. I'm just going to have to just straighten it up a touch to get around it. So there's a gap, and I'm happy to do that because I want to keep those power cables for the moment. And I might, it depends what I do with my energy, but I don't want to make any decisions with that just yet. Like I said earlier, highways, you can see there, that is your zoning area, those mini tiles. So because I've laid down highway, as I explained earlier, there's no zoning area. There will be zoning area with streets, even large streets like this one. So we do need more streets. So we're going to move away from the highways tool, and we're going to go to, say, a 6-lane road. That's a very wide road. It's something like something kind of similar to Las Vegas, where they would have and other big cities, towns, where they would have many multiple lanes. You can see the whole way now across using this tool. I've now created a full wide street, and both sides I can zone on both sides of that street. And I'm going to probably do the same, but I'm going to probably go a bit more central. You're basically just mapping out in your head, okay, what will my city look like, and how can I make it easier to with traffic. Now, I guess as well, like I said, I was going to go to landscaping tools, but because this ground is so flat at the moment, I don't think we need to maybe go there just yet, but you might want to do your landscaping first. I'm happy with the layout of this map mostly because it's something different. It's a valley in the mountains, but my other map, it's much more it needs the way I've created my other map. It's much more island based, where the whole way around is a water source, and then following that, uh, the actual map is in the middle. But with the map I've used, which is a flat island custom map, you have to still go around the outside quite a bit to get it right. There's a bit of work sometimes to do with landscaping and leveling. So just we'll hopefully come on to that in a future video if we don't touch on it here. Maybe in this video we'll see. But okay, that's 2 of our big streets completed. Now we're gonna go for a third, and we're gonna put this one. I think I'm gonna put this one right next to the train tracks. Okay, here we go. This is going okay so far. There's no issues. Would also recommend saving, of course. I think that's very important, especially with a game that's still not completely free of glitches is the best way to put it. Nicest way to put it, probably at the moment. I'm liking that now because you've given yourself the option of two-way street, large street, and well, actually, with 3 lanes, so the traffic should be able to very easily uh, maneuver at a decent speed of 50 around the valley. And then the train tracks, very important, I think, to lay train lines early as well. Now, one of the things I still don't like about the game at the moment is I think the train stations are so enormous in this game. So especially for my other map, which it needs to be a bit smaller in some cases. I have some train mods, but this is the basic train station. Even this looks absolutely enormous, and because of the power lines, you can see there it's very difficult to have highway on one side and then I'm pretty much going to have to get rid of some power lines to accommodate that train station, but we'll come back to that later. Um, if you do want to have any other train lines, I would recommend probably going with those now. So we are going to have trams as well. So we're going to have a double tram track, and we're going to put it right through the middle of the town, of the city. But I'm going to put it right next to that too big street, because I think that is a good place to put it. You don't want. I personally like my tram tracks close-ish to um, a big street, just to make it a bit easier. You can see there that that little notification is that there's an issue. There's no connection, basically. Um, that's fine. We'll obviously have one eventually. We're really just focusing here more so on trying to get good transport links throughout the city. You do have to give up a lot of space for the transport links, to be honest. The tram tracks, railways, all of that, you really will have to give up a good amount of space. Okay. Now there will have to be a cutoff at some stage, but we've got quite a bit of map still to use, so we're gonna probably stretch that. I think I'm gonna stretch this tram track quite a distance, as I want multiple stops, and I'm happy for it to be just fully straight. We will have some curves later, but I'm happy to just run the mountain maybe. But I want a nice solid zone to work with here as well. Okay. Right. Okay. We're going back to the highway again. Sorry, the street, I should say. Only a street, and I want to now attach that to the other street here, and I'm going to bring it the whole way to this point. I don't want to go too far with this, and the reason is I might want to attach this to the highway we've got here, and yeah, great. The road system is so good in this game compared to what a lot of our city builders, especially say Skylines 1, I think. So really impressed with the road connections. It was something that was in the trailer a lot, and so I knew it was coming, so to speak, but I'm still impressed with how it looks in game. Alright, okay, that just trying to work out what that is again. It looks like it's... Is that highway? What is that? No, it's not. It's street, isn't it? It has to be a street, because the reason it has to be a street is it's a street, but then it's turned into a highway. So it is actually a highway. Starts off as a street and becomes a highway. So I think this is probably the right one here. Yeah, just trying to work out which one it was again. Am I okay with that? Yeah, I'm okay with it because there's a street nearby. I'm okay with it. At least for now, I'm okay with it. Let me think about this. You know what? I'm not okay with it. I think I'm gonna change it. That's what can happen. Mistakes can happen. You might sometimes make a mistake like I've just done. I think that really for zoning, to get big buildings popping up there, to make it look like a real city, I think it'll be much easier if that was if that was not a highway in that place. Because one of the reasons I was creating the highway was was to run through the city so that the traffic could move through the city at a good speed. But that will, by doing what I've just done there, that's going to kind of counteract a little bit my ability. It's going to definitely counteract my ability to actually lay down um, houses, buildings, and they will need to be both sides for this to work this time. So again, we're just zoning the whole way across. We haven't actually zoned anywhere yet. We're not going to do really that in this video. We're going to leave that to maybe one of the future videos. The reason for it, we're just really looking at transport links to start things off here to get things rolling. So many different options available as well in this game. We will be putting in power sources as well soon. Probably, I think having another street going pretty much the same type of street, but coming this way. That's what we're looking for. Yep. And we'll do the same again. Basic zoning, but effective zoning. And of course, you can of course curve the roads. You don't have to go straight. I do like straight roads. I do like straight zone districts, but you can easily. I think when we come to do perhaps some of the buildings around the mountain, we might be able to kind of show the curve tool a little bit more. But by pressing X, you can use curve features. And you can change the elevation as well, and I have tried that out as well quite a bit. You can change the elevation, and I wonder will we maybe just do that just for fun to see what it looks like through the middle of the city. We'll have a road that's a bit higher in terms of, you can see that the overlapping item is the power lines, because what I've done, I can only go to a certain point with the power lines, then it's going to cut down. So cut into the power lines, so I'm gonna have to just drop it there and leave it there. And what I'll do is I'll change the elevation, which is currently at 10 meters, dropping it down to what it was before. Sorry, that's elevation step, my mistake. That can go like this. That's the first part of the drop down, dropping it down slightly, and then you're going to want to drop it down to 0. You do have to have a little bit of space to just make this work really effectively, but it should work for you in your city, I think. I'm going to just leave it probably there, actually. And there we go. Yep, very effective. Elevated highway, looks good. Connected fine. You can see how it looks there of the mountain. This is a really beautiful map, actually. I really love the backdrop. It really looks great. In some ways it looks better than my test city. And I've spent a lot more time on the test city. Just the actual aesthetic look at the mountains in the background, it's something I'm going to look at. I would love to get those snow peaks. Gonna have to find out how to do that, but I wouldn't even mind redoing my mountains to get those snow peaks. Actually, I would be happy to redo. If anyone can offer any suggestions. We're gonna now go for a road that I've used a lot in my other cities. It's two lanes on one side and one lane on the other, multi-directional. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Yeah. And to run cities, you do need a pretty good gaming PC. to run it effectively so it doesn't glitch all the time. If you're using an older gaming PC, it might be difficult to run City Skylines 2. You just need to be careful with your specs for this game. Okay. Okay, this is looking okay so far. It's some nice zones. We're going to just go back to what we were doing. Elevation again. 5 meters. Yeah, okay. Is that too steep? Might be too steep. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't think I can go do a drop of 10 to 5 here. I'm gonna have meters. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to delete that and go again with trying to get this right. It's the wrong road type as well for starters. It was the wrong road type. Then it doesn't help. Pick the wrong road type. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Oh, still too steep. So if it is too steep, one of the little tips you can do is actually delete just a small segment of road and just drop it back a bit, just because that will make it a bit more gradual, the slope. Yeah, there you go. That's great. That's what we're looking, and you can see that now we're going to be able to run some traffic underneath there, some roads. I'm going to go for another one of those. I'm going to go for just a 1x1 here, two-sided, so it's a two-lane road. Two-lane road is the best way to describe it. So I'm going to run it through the city. Again, I've used this one a lot as well in my other city. I'm going to run it the whole way up. Because of the way we've built this, I'm pretty confident that there'll be a lot of room for traffic to run through this city. We're building very strong road networks here so that there won't be traffic congestion later. Okay. Over. That looks good. All looks good at the moment. So at this stage, I'm pretty happy with the way that this is looking. You can sort of see the square that I'm going to be working with, but I'm going to make it a bit bigger even still. I'm going to make this a little bit larger, this entire area that we're going to be building into. So I want to see how big we can make this. How the game will handle it later. Roundabout's also really well done in this game. Really well done. Look how cool that roundabout looks. Okay. We started the tram line. We didn't finish it. We will be coming back to that. We're gonna go transport next, and I think the airport is a big thing we need to be looking at as well, and we're gonna try and do an airport, but I have to say I'm not a big fan of the airports, the look of them in this game. I think that there should be an option for a slightly smaller airport, maybe a slightly smaller runway. I just think it might be helpful for people if it was slightly smaller. I'm just trying to work out location wise where I want to put this. Maybe moving it a little bit further away from the actual main city might be good to avoid the noisiness of these big airports. Overlapping items. We're going to put it there for now. I'm going to come back to it later. What we might do just before we come back to it, we may just run some road around it and then leave it. for a while, but I wouldn't say I'm completely happy with that location, I have to admit. I do sometimes like to have my airports a little bit closer to the actual city, but I think by the time when we start building the city completely, it may end up being closer than what it looks at the moment. It may end up being a lot closer. Uh, no. Gotta make sure you don't go too close to the edge of the airport. Yeah, nice interconnection there, like that. Autumn Street is going to link the airport. Well, the key road is actually going to be this one we're going to take on, and I think probably 2x1 is fine with this one. It's debatable. You could go with a larger road here if you feel your traffic in your airport is going to be very bad. That's up for debate, really. It is two lanes on one side and one on the other, so it just depends. You can upgrade your roads later, of course, as well, which I haven't really done yet. But you can see I can also put buildings there if I wanted to. So the airport's going to be sort of on the other side. We are going to have some buildings, of course, here in the center area as well. And I'm going to now try and map out, if I can, the center area roads. Getting a little bit close here to the edge of this little area, but I think we're still going to be able to zone very nicely here. I think we're going to be able to get some really nice tall skyscrapers into this zone, these areas very soon. We're just gradually just taking our time around the edges. And feel free to take as long as you need to get this right. It'll take some time for sure just to get it 100%. There you go. Nicely zoned. Well, laid out, I should say, not quite zoned yet, but we're going to link those two as well. And we're going to make another link as well through the center. Might need to straighten it up a little bit. Yeah. And that's a tunnel. You can just see it. Well, sorry, it's not a tunnel. It's a wall on either side. I thought it was a tunnel there for the second. It was just the shadow, but that's fine. All that looks good. It's a good layout, I think, so far. I think I'm also going to just take a look at the shoreline as well, just the same way. Or will I? No, you know what? I won't. I'm not going to do that at this moment. I've got another idea for that area. I was going to do that, and I've changed my mind because I'm thinking maybe we can use some of the elements of beach properties later for that, and I don't think we necessarily need to put just to basically test out beach properties a little bit more as well. I haven't really created many beaches yet on my other map. I will be though, but so it'll be a good test to see what goes down with that. I think we'll put another road in just here, two lane road, standard road, both directions. I like the position, but we're gonna have to just make a small adjustment to run it underneath. There we go. Yeah, just a little zigzag needed there. Not much, but just a small one, just because of where the highway, the street above the elevated road is being held up. You can see that the distance there. It's quite a considerable distance, actually. Okay. And I think we'll leave it there for our first episode. I'm very happy with the start that's been made here. It's a good structure, good good base, to continue. So I'm gonna make my first save, and thank you everyone for watching. Thank you anyone that subscribed. Really appreciate it. Join me back then for the next episode, and we'll hopefully make even more advancements with this city. Thank you for watching.